In this video, I want to go over the PowerPoint. The PowerPoint's just meant to kind of give everyone some examples. I realize that we all don't have a background in video games, so I tried to pick some clips that illustrate some of the controversial aspects of video games that get brought up a lot whenever people talk about the games. One of the big talk points of video games is the potential for violence that video games may create. We just saw the release of Grand Theft Auto 5, and so that's been a game that sparked quite a bit of controversy because of the violence that you can imitate in it. But if you see from this little slide here, violence in games goes way back. The first example here, you don't have to look at all of the examples, but the film, once you load it, it's going to be the finishing moves for basically all the Mortal Kombat characters. And you'll see the video itself, it's very long. Like I said, you'll get the idea after a few minutes in, but Mortal Kombat's a series that most people probably have heard of at least, and it's one that often gets blamed for being too violent. Now the next example is from Doom, and Doom is one of the most popular first-person shooters. Not the first one, but it was very popular, especially when the Columbine shootings happened. It came to light that the two individuals involved, the shooters, were fans of the video game series, and a lot of people wanted to place blame on the Doom series for encouraging those kids to be violent. One thing that first-person shooters get blamed for a lot is the unique perspective that they give, as far as you don't see anything but a pair of hands. So some people argue that the imagination doesn't have to work hard to just kind of put yourself in the role of the video game shooter, since you don't see a perspective on the screen. People say those hands can be your hands very easily. Manhunt 2 was actually a game banned in numerous countries just for being too violent. And here you're going to see various execution scenes. Now the thing on Manhunt 2, you have to understand that the whole game was sold based on the spectacle of violence. Like, you wanted to try to get the most violent execution possible. So Manhunt 2, you'll see here some very violent clips of, I guess, like, what you would achieve to do in the game would be the most violent executions possible. And we'll skip ahead to portraits of women. This is another thing that kind of comes up often when we talk about video games, especially now that a lot more women are playing video games. It used to kind of be a boys' world, and that's really changed with casual gaming, with just more women interested in the hobby. So there are some examples here going way back. Donkey Kong. When you load the video, you'll see that the women's role in this video game is kind of the rescue me, where she's just up in the corner screaming, "Help, help, help." Eco is a game that's a beautiful game, but you play a boy whose job it is to lead a princess to safety, and you literally lead her by the hand through the entire game. And a lot of people say that this is just a weak representation of women, that the women portrayed in video games are often at the mercy of the male savior. And so this would be an example of here, even a child seems to have more power than the woman in rescuing herself. This one, I'll let you watch this. It's ridiculous, but please understand that there was a lot of money invested into making this game. I remember that the company releasing it, which I can't remember at the moment, but they were very impressed with their physics engine that they designed for the game. And the physics engine was basically for, well, you see what they're using the physics engine for in this video. Recently, there is a popular video game character that goes back quite a while, Lara Croft, and she's a controversial female character because a lot of people say, well, she's a strong, independent woman, but also most people can't get over the size of her breasts and say that she's too hypersexualized. The recent remake or reboot they had of the franchise, we see here a preview of a much different physical, the actual physical model used of Lara Croft is much different than the original one, not quite as sexualized. But this game also got some criticism for some execution scenes. Basically, there were a lot of death scenes that people argued were way too violent with Lara Croft involved. So, Resident Evil 4, there's a character in this video when you watch it named Ada Wong, and she seems, you can see her here, there's kind of a balance. There seems to be now currently people are trying to balance the sexy female heroine in video games with also just the ability to really kick ass. And this is seen as kind of a successful model of a woman's identity in a video game. She's interesting, she's strong, but as you can see, she's still sexualized quite a bit. And then this clip, when you watch it from Lollipop Chainsaw, I've played the game, and all I can say from the clip is that just you have to watch it, and it should be pretty self-explanatory what possible problems come from the woman's portrait in this clip. We'll skip to a movement we see now because video games are getting such good graphical abilities. People argue that video games can be art. So we've got a couple of examples here. This is an older one from the Wii, Okami, which many people argue is a beautiful game, and you'll see some clips here if you think that it's beautiful enough to be considered art. Journey is one that recently a lot of people said it's just an artistic experience, that the entertainment value doesn't really come from playing it, but from just experiencing the art of it. And then a huge franchise right now is Minecraft, and this is just something that it's not even graphically good. It's graphically very, very basic, but people can build whatever they can think of. So this is just kind of like if you think of a Lego box with an infinite supply inside of it, that's what you have with Minecraft. We'll see here in this video what several people have spent a lot of time and energy creating. Going on to brain drain, a lot of people criticize video games for kind of turning kids into zombies, turning people into zombies, not really encouraging thought, critical thought. And so I've got some examples here that may challenge that. One's from L.A. Noire, a game recently, well, not too long ago, where you played as a detective and you had to try to assess a crime scene and solve crimes and interrogate people. And having played it, you know, it does actually require you to think in critical terms. You can't just go on autopilot, you can't just push X. You do have to kind of engage your brain in order to make it. StarCraft 2, I've never really played StarCraft, but I'll tell you it's a very popular franchise, especially in Korea. There are people who professionally, just their life is playing StarCraft and StarCraft 2. But here, basically, this video, watch a little bit of it and just understand that the gentlemen who are playing this know exactly what every piece is doing. I don't. I don't have it. It just seems like chaos to me. But it's pretty amazing when you think someone who's looking at what we see on the screen when you load the video, and they can understand what's going on there. That seems to require some thought and strategy. And then another game that isn't too old, Portal 2, requires kind of creative thought and requires application of scientific principles such as inertia and things like that. And so a lot of people said that Portal 2 was a game that's a thoughtful game, not just blow everything up, although there is some of that. So you've got some questions embedded in here that I want you to answer for homework, but basically these clips are meant to just kind of let everybody, even those who haven't ever played a video game, see some of what's out there. And there is plenty more. There are plenty more examples that we'll bring in. Feel free to bring in examples in your homework that maybe aren't on this PowerPoint slide. And thanks for checking it out.